Welcome everyone to our Weezak full moon, pre-full moon garden meditation. And now let's gather in our garden under the impress of the light of Taurus. Let's make our approach as a group so that we can become a sacred chalice for the love, the life, and the light of hierarchy to radiate through that chalice, then to our communities and to the world of men. And before we do, let us start with a point of soul focus and let's align with our own soul. Raise your consciousness into the head, as high in the head as you can. And now carry that consciousness upward through the astral body, then the mind, then to the soul, by visualizing a lotus fully open and scintillating with light and pulsating like a living heart as a symbol of your soul body. And place yourself right at the center of your lotus, realizing that you, the personality, and you, the soul, are now one in consciousness. You're fused and blended as one. And from that point, definitely and consciously assume the attitude of the observer. Observe your personality below and visualize your etheric body and see energy flowing freely up and down the etheric spine. And now consciously throw soul energy down into the center at the base of the spine using indigo blue light, the color of the ray of love. Then raise it slowly via the 5 centers up the etheric spine, then to the ajna, then to the crown, and into the soul body, producing a vivification of the Sutratma and the linking of the personality and soul into one blended spirit unit. And now let us say the soul mantra, recognizing your essential nature. I am the soul. I am light divine. I am will. I am love. I am fixed design. And let us sound one Om as if you were the soul in full expression. Let's enter our entrance to our garden. We stroll through arches of climbing roses, Master KH favorite flower, clusters of flowers in abundance overhead, and choose the colors you like. And as we walk down the path, the roses gently caress our cheeks, and we breathe in the delicate aroma of the cascading, colorful roses percolating through the air. Small, lovingly trimmed green bushes line the stony pathway, and we hear the gentle crunch of the tiny stones under our steps. At the end of the archway, along an embankment, there are rows and rows of flowers, flowers of different hues and harmonizing tones. And as we create these rows, we include our favorite flowers. The fragrant aroma of the blooms permeate the still air around us, and we feel the soft, cool grass beneath our feet. On the opposite side of the embankment, we see in the middle of our space of harmony a lighthouse, standing tall and strong, shining beams of light in all directions as a symbol of our united group soul. And as we assemble there quietly, we hear a choir of birds fill the space with their clear and melodious notes, welcoming us to this unique space. A chorus of angelic voices sing a soft tune, accompanied by the sound of harps, divas gently strumming the chords. Sitting still around the lighthouse, we feel the gentle warmth of the rays of the sun, and feel the rays of the sun caress your cheeks and warm your chest and your back. And in the background, the breeze softly swishing through the tall eucalyptus trees chants a melodic lullaby. These majestic trees cast their protective shadows on the grass as sunlight peeps through this peaceful garden. Around the lighthouse, we see a large, quiet pool of crystal clear blue waters. And flowing from the pool, we see rivulets as we hear the gentle trickle of water. We also see 3 wider streams of golden water flowing steadily, and across them are curved wooden bridges. In one area of the pool float lotuses of all colors, in all stages of bloom. Some are in full bloom, revealing their gorgeous jewel, while others are just budding and barely showing their true color. but all reflecting their light in the healing waters. Just beyond the pool, a hidden path leads to a cozy and serene corner. A few chairs or a bench and a small fountain containing supercharged, vitalizing water, perfumed by a single floating lotus, create the perfect spot for an informal sharing of one's difficulties or words of wisdom. Inhale the perfume of the flowers imbuing the air. Everything in this garden quivers with livingness, and you can bring in people that you would like to rest in your garden and heal in our garden. In the distance, we hear the soothing sound of water, and we follow it. We come to a tranquil pool where cascading water gently hugs rocks as it joyfully spills in a blue pool, while bubbles of spray ricochet spiritedly in the air. Lush ferns alongside the rocks, draping in the water, enhance the serenity of the place, while the fiery brilliance of the orange and red leaves of surrounding trees brings warmth and invigorating energy to the area. In our mind's eye, we follow a pathway which leads us to flower beds. They are a riot of spring color, reds and creams and yellows of such vibrancy, winding their way like a gentle living stream among the trees. A row of violet flowers on either side of the meandering bed happily follows the path of the flowers as they release their subtle perfume. Butterflies flutter through the air with their iridescent wings, attracted by the silent serenade of the blooms. They are like the flowers of the air. Their delicate and fragile wings are like floating petals, touching the light and twinkling like diamonds in the air. While buzzing bees surf the open spaces from flower to flower, seeking pollen, which scintillate like bright gold pixie dust. This garden that we've just created is our garden, our group garden. But let's take a moment to add a little corner that has our individual touch. So add the colors, the unique features and flora of your own country that you'd like to bloom in this tranquil and serene space. let's invite the presence and cooperation of the healing devas working under Christ and Master DK. They fill the space as they crowd around us, eager to pour their magnetism in service to humanity alongside us. We choose a spot in our garden where we sit in silence and we link our hearts and minds with a group, and we say the healer's mantra aloud together with purity of motives. Inspired by a loving heart, we offer ourselves for this work of healing. This offer we make as a group and to the ones we seek to heal. With our eyes, our outer eyes closed, let's now open our inner eyes, endeavoring to hold our mind unwaveringly in the group light. We know that Master DK2 stands steady, pouring out upon us his love and strength, and endeavoring to lift us up into a higher state of consciousness. We are now receptive to Master DK's radiant energy. The light of the lighthouse begins to become brighter and brighter, intensifying gradually. Soon this light begins to take shape and a definite figure appears. And this is that of Master DK. So let us then be impressed by the powerful wave of cosmic harmony emanating from Master DK at the summit of our lighthouse, streaming through our united hearts, irradiating the garden around us and imbuing it with a Taurian energy of stillness, of desire for right relations and harmony between nations. Let's listen intuitively to Master DK's teachings, and let's imagine his words as golden droplets of liquid light, quenching the parched land of our brains, bringing warmth, light, and a loving understanding of the plan, and bathing our hearts in healing light and life. Taurus is the sign of illumination, the penetrating light of the path. All is love. And the keynote for the disciple in Taurus is I see. And when the eye is open, all is light. What does the light of illumination of Taurus through the agency of the Buddha reveal? It's the will of God, which is the divine will to good, peace through understanding, and right relations between men and between nations. We sense a critical alignment building up as we approach this unique full moon at Weizak, between Shambhala, Sanat Kumara, the light of life itself, the planetary enlightener, the Christ, the distributing agent for the forces of enlightenment, the Buddha, the embodiment of light, hierarchy, and humanity. We sense another pronounced alignment of a triangle also forming between the Lord of the world, linked through the Manu, representing Shambhala, the Christ, the Prince of Peace, representing hierarchy, and the Master R, the Lord of Civilization, representing humanity, setting up a potent note and vibration, invoking the Spirit of Peace. And who is the Spirit of Peace, and why is he so important? He is an extra-planetary being of terrific cosmic potency. He is today overshadowing the Christ in much the same way as Christ 2,000 years ago overshadowed or worked through Master Jesus. He is destined to bring peace eventually upon earth through the expression of goodwill, which will bring about right human relations. And what is the effect of the forces of light in the Spirit of Peace? It's the illumination of the minds of men with love and light, and this precipitates upon the mental plane. The Spirit of Peace will vitalize the responsiveness of humanity via the influence of hierarchy to the will of God, which has for basic intent the bringing of peace on earth. The Buddha, as the agent of that great life in whom we live and move and have our being, who is himself the true light of the world and the planetary enlightener, the Ancient of Days, the God of Love, Sanat Kumara, the Eternal Youth, the Shambhala force pours through the Buddha, producing an understanding cooperation with a divine plan, an enlightened fusion of the divine will with a great divine will, and this for the greater good of the whole. And DK makes a request at Weizak. He tells us to call on us to a great service of demand and invocation on behalf of humanity. We have to demand for the flow of light upon the decisions of men. And he asks us to request and expect the needed enlightenment for those who have to make decision on behalf of men everywhere. In Taurus, the Buddha achieved victory over desire and arrived at illumination. And the Buddha, the agent of the life in whom we move and have our being, then bestows on humanity the light of illumination of Taurus. So let's demand that desire be transmuted into aspiration. Individual will be fused with a great divine will for the greater good of the whole, and darkness be given place to light and illumination on earth. Let our spirit of demand for light, for right human relations, for the will to good from the Buddha permeate our group. Infusing our garden with our invocation for greater light by visualizing a shaft of light from Taurus descending on our garden and pervading it with illumination. Venus, the exoteric ruler of Taurus, the alter ego of the earth, is that mysterious force which is a blend of love and knowledge, of intelligence and synthesis, and of understanding and brotherhood. Venus, blending with Taurus, reveals the divine marriage between the lower nature and the higher self, to express inner fusion and harmony of the pairs of opposites. So let's picture Venus, the goddess of intelligent love, walking with poise through our garden, bringing Taurus and our earth closer together, carrying unimpeded the light which shines through the eye of the bull into the darkness, imbuing our garden with harmony in a fusion of heart and mind, of soul and personality. So feel this union deeply with every fiber of your being. Taurus forges the instruments of constructive living. Vulcan, the esoteric ruler of Taurus, governed by Ray 1, brings in the Shambhala force in guiding the soul who works in the densest, most concrete expression of the natural world to fashion that which is beautiful and useful. That is, transmuting the material world and molding it to his will to achieve beauty and synthesis. So let's take a moment to imaginatively see and feel the thundering blow of Vulcan's hammer of will, striking his anvil, creating a beautiful jewel of harmony. The entire secret of divine purpose and planning, we are told, is hidden in Taurus. The underlying goal of the evolutionary process, the onward rush of the bull of God, reveals steadily and without cessation the stupendous and sublime plan of deity. This is the subject which light reveals. Taurus is a synthetic sign. It brings expression of an inner urge of some definite nature upon the physical plane. And humanity, the world disciple, is beginning to come under the influence of Taurus. So will this Taurian influence, increased as it is by the incoming Shambhala forces, produce the flooding of illumination of which Taurus is the custodian? Or will it simply foment desire, increase selfishness, and bring humanity to the fiery heights of self-interest? And this is where the new group of world servers plays a crucial intermediary role by directing the forces of enlightenment, which are the energy which lead to intelligent activity and to correct mental planning. And once these forces are released, it then becomes the responsibility of the new group of world servers to direct them. And that means us, friends. And we are told that if the thinking and executive people of the world can have their minds illumined by the spirit of wisdom and understanding, they can act as distributors of that light through enlightened planning and legislation, and thus affect the entire world. So let's visualize our lighthouse, symbol of our united soul group, standing strong and detached in the middle of our garden. As Master DK at the summit directs the light of illumination to the heart of every blade of grass, every flower, every lotus, every tree, every molecule of water and of air of our garden. Visualize this very clearly in your mind. And now let's make use of our sacred garden by visualizing the flow of unconditional love and will to good emanating from the triangle, the avatar of synthesis, the embodiment of will and power, the spirit of peace, the embodiment of love, establishing right human relations, and the Lord Buddha, the embodiment of light, overshadowing the Christ at the center. Thus the Christ, with the fused energies of love and wisdom, with the aid of the avatar of synthesis and of the Buddha, and under the influence of the spirit of peace and of equilibrium, can implement and direct the energies which will produce the new, the coming new civilization. He will see demonstrating before his eyes the true resurrection, the emergence of mankind from the imprisoning cave of materialism. So let's superimpose this triangle of stupendous beings on another triangle, on the soul triangle, consisting of the Christ, Master DK, and our soul group. Visualize these two triangles blending and fusing to form one blended triangle. Then superimpose these blended triangles on our group chakric triangle as we vitalize it. And this triangle is made of our group crown chakra, our group ajna, and our group alta major. Again, see these triangles blended and fused to form one triangle as we step down the energy of will to good, of love and light, onto the etheric plane. And now, directing the dispelling radiance via our group ajna, right eye, left eye triangle, let's place the blended triangle of will to good, impressing it over the three planetary centers triangle: London, Geneva, New York. And think big, friends. See the whole world and then that little triangle. Radiating and spreading will to good through its three outlets. Just sound one Om, and let us see that Om carry the will to good as we direct it to those who have to make decisions on behalf of men everywhere via these 3 planetary outlets, and to the rest of humanity. Let the forces of enlightenment initiate the new world education and impress the big educational systems, the worldwide propaganda institutions, and all those agencies which work to educate and direct public thinking and mold public opinions, such as the radio and today TV, social media, internet, the film industry, the press, the publishers of world literature, speakers, writers, social workers, and progressive and liberal churchmen in all the world religions. Let's one other oath. As we see the will to good reaching all these agencies, stimulating the minds and hearts, stimulating the life within. In other words, stimulating their souls, and let us say the healer's mantra aloud in a low voice as we say it slowly and deliberately, believing and being convinced of the results. May the love of the one soul focused in this group radiate upon you, our fellow men, and permeate every part of your body, healing, soothing, strengthening, and dissipating all that hinders service and good health. And may they be enlightened, illumined, and aroused by loving understanding and peace. A request, another request from DK. the time of the full moon of May and June, it will be advisable to use both these invocations, that is the first and the second invocation, and thus to fuse and blend into one united invocation the massed intent of humanity as a whole and the enlightened purpose of the disciples in hierarchy. This fusion of the two groups, humanity and hierarchy, may then suffice to sound out such a potent call that life may be released on earth instead of death, and the love of God play its active part in the reconstruction of world affairs. And he also asks all of us during the weeks prior to the full moon of May, that is now, and that of June, and for 5 days thereafter, to seek to dwell ever at the center. It is to think as a soul, to endeavor to blend the cold light of your personalities with the clear light of your soul, so as to work effectively for the 5 weeks of the desired period. If this can be successfully accomplished, 2 great revelations may then be speeded on their way, we are told. A revelation of light and understanding to humanity as a whole, leading them to knowledge and enabling their men to see the cause of the present catastrophe. Secondly, a revelation of life, and of life more abundantly, as Christ promised when on earth. This revelation will give, excuse me, excuse me. This revelation will give to the thinkers, idealists, true leaders, and disciples working in the world today that spiritual energy which leads to right activity, sound leadership, and inspired and inspiring living. Such is the will of God for humanity, and such is the intent and purpose of Shambhala. So then let's intone the powerful first and second invocations as requested by DK, as a group soul, saying them with intensity of feeling, in unison with hierarchy on the inner planes, as we grasp their significance and believe that they embody the will of the planetary logos. Let the forces of light bring illumination to mankind. Let the spirit of peace be spread abroad. May men of goodwill everywhere meet in a spirit of cooperation. May forgiveness on the part of all men be the keynote at this time. Let power attend the efforts of the great ones. And so let it be, and help us to do our part. The second invocation. Let the Lords of liberation issue forth. Let them bring succor to the sons of men. Let the rider from the secret place come forth, and coming save. Come forth, O mighty one. Let the souls of men awaken to the light, and may they stand with masked intent. Let the fiat of the Lord go forth. The end of woe has come. Forth, O mighty one. The hour of service of the saving force has now arrived. Let it be spread abroad, O mighty one. Let light and love and power and death fulfill the purpose of the coming one. The will to save is here. The love to carry forth the work is widely spread abroad, and the active aid of all who know the truth is also here. Come forth, O mighty one, and blend these three. Construct a great defending wall. The rule of evil now must end. And just like Christ does, standing under the great pine tree in his garden at sunset, with his hands uplifted in blessing over all those who truly and earnestly seek to aspire, let's picture a great pine tree in our garden, and let's gather around the Christ, Pastor DK, and the healing ashram under this great pine tree, saying the third great invocation together as one united group. From the point of light within the mind of God, let light stream forth into the minds of men. Let light descend on earth, and let us sound a blue om as we visualize a shaft of light pouring down on earth. From the point of love within the heart of God, let love stream forth into the hearts of men. May Christ return to earth, and let us sound a blue om as we see a stream of love pouring into the hearts of men. From the center where the will of God is known, let purpose guide the little wills of men, the purpose which the masters know and serve, and see a stream of will to good pouring into humanity. And from the center, which we call the race of men, let the plan of love and light work out, and may it seal the door where evil dwells. Let light and love empower and restore the plan on earth, and let us sound a fourth blue O. And now raise your clasp hands above the head and say, and so let it be, and help us to do what might. Then bring them down to your forehead and let them rest on your heart as we radiate love and power into the world of men wherever we go. May the blessings of the Christ and of hierarchy rest upon all true servants, and may they stand tranquil in the midst of strife. May the light of the garden of our souls be on the inner plane what the sun is to the gardens of the world, a place of healing, of enlightenment, and of harmonious relations for many. Thank you for joining us, friends. It was such a joy to be all together, united in hearts and minds. Happy Wesak, and may your will be fused with the divine will for the good of the whole.